I don't know what his deal was, but he was like, hey, you're doing a good job. Here's a chicken wing. Like it was a treat or something. Like every time we do a cut, he's like, hey, here's another chicken wing. And I'm just like, oh, the chicken wings just kept coming. There were so many chicken wings. There were chicken wings all over the place. Welcome, everybody, to the Bob and Katie Show.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Bob. Well, I hear rumor that you have a baby story for me.
You know I do. No, there was actually something that happened today, and I didn't tell you about it yet because I knew we were going to be recording the podcast tonight, and that's how lame we are. People probably don't know this, but, we, hoard our stories, good stories, until we record the podcast because, they're in short supply, I guess.
So we don't talk to each other for a week.
It's we have no other conversation. This is the only conversation we have. No. I will shake my leg if I want to.
You gotta stop shaking so much. You're making the whole table move.
This is my story. Today, I was in the kids' room with them, and I was sitting on the floor, and I was about to change Riley's diaper. He had pooped. He had also...
One minute in. We are 1 minute in.
You know it's a poop story.
And you've already brought up poop 1 minute in.
It's you can guarantee it's going to be about either poop or Walmart.
Okay.
That's our specialties. So anyway, he had also, he thinks it's funny now to put drink in his mouth and then spit it down the front of his shirt. So his outfit was soaking wet. So I got his outfit off.
He was doing that in the car the other day.
Yeah, he's been doing it for about a week. I caught him the first time that he was sitting in his high chair. It was after lunch or something, and he was drinking his drink and then just spitting it down the front of his out. He would get it in his mouth and he would lean his head down and spit it on his shirt. And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. Don't do that.
All right. So anyway, show me how you're going to rope that around the poop.
I had gotten his outfit off of him and then he scampered away. Okay. So he's just in a diaper.
That's scary because you remember what happened when I let him wander around with just a diaper.
We've never let them really go without clothes, just a diaper on, especially now that they can get their diapers off.
Right.
That don't happen. But anyway, he scampered away and I was exhausted. So I'm just sitting there on the floor because it just was going to take entirely too much effort to get up. And I'm like, Riley, please come here. Riley, please come here. Riley, come back over here so we can change your diaper. I'm trying to coax him back. And he finds a toy, one of those little people on the floor, and he picks it up and he's like, girl, it was a little girl, anyway, and he's holding the toy and I'm like, Riley, come here, Riley, come here. And he's putting his hand, he's trying to put his hand down his diaper.
No.
I was like, Riley, stop. Please don't do that. There's poop in there. Come here. And next thing I know, he's running and he's got the little person in his hand, and then I see it. It's on his hand. He was successful in sticking his hand down his diaper, and he got poop on his hand. And then I freak out, and I jump up. I've got a baby wipe in my hand. I'm like, oh my God. Because you never know. At any time, they could stick their hand in their mouth. I didn't know if he had gotten it on the little toy, and toys in the mouth. I'm like, oh my God, come here now. But yeah, he shoved his hand right down his butt crack and got poop on his hand.
So did you get on the little person or no?
He did. I cleaned it off though.
Okay.
Yeah, we washed her.
I gotta throw that one away.
I washed her. She's okay.
Okay.
She's probably cleaner than any other toy in there right now.
Baby stuff does get rather gross.
Oh God, yeah.
It gets rather gross. You gotta clean stuff constantly.
Oh, kids are disgusting, man.
Yeah.
There's always stickiness. You don't know where it comes from, but kids are always sticky and moist. Yeah. Either from drool or urine or spitting juice down their shirt. They're always wet.
Well, I know I went in there the other day and I was on the floor, and when I moved, I noticed I had a wet spot on my shirt. And I was like, what is this? I didn't smell it. I just kept moving. I just let it dry.
You learn not to question the wet spots. No. As long as you don't, get a whiff of anything, it's probably fine. It's probably either just a little baby pee or it's drool or juice. You'll be fine. That was my excitement for the day. I'm done.
Okay.
No more stories for me.
Well, I've had a busy couple days.
You have?
I did Free Comic Book Day, and then also went and became a TV star. Like we said earlier, we don't talk a lot. outside of the podcast because we don't have a lot of stories.
I can't believe we're admitting that to people. That's sad. No, we do talk to each other.
We do. It's just like you'll ask me, it's like, so what happened? And I'm like, I can't tell you. We gotta wait.
Yeah, you went to Free Comic Book Day Saturday, and I was like, so how did it go? And you're like, it was fine. I'm like, well, did anything interesting happen? I can't tell you right now.
Well, what do you want to hear about first?
I don't know. I mean, I've been to Free Comic Book Day a couple times, and I like seeing the people dressed up in their costumes. That's usually really fun. And just the people you meet, that's what's really fun for me.
So you want me to start there?
I guess.
We'll do the TV show last. All right. So Free Comic Book Day. I went with Dad, and I woke up at what time? 2:00 in the morning to go.
You woke up when I was going to bed.
Yeah, you were still awake when I woke up. Well, we get there. We're just gonna skip the whole what happened before we get there. Nobody cares. It was like 4:15ish, I think, in the morning, and there wasn't a whole lot of people. We found out that there was this one.
Imagine that.
There was we were like 20th. I think I had ticket number 20. One of the girls had been there since 3:00 the afternoon before. That's a long time. That's a really long time. But we immediately made a friend, a guy named Evan, and he was pretty cool. You know, just we talked about comic books and Deadpool and this, that, and the other. And then I took Uno with me, and Dad took his little square table he's got, and we decided to play. So we're sitting there, right? I don't know how the conversation came up, but it came up about fingers. And, you know, my dad is missing a couple of them. So he puts his hands on the table and he's like, yeah, I don't have all of them. And I
have a story about your dad and his missing fingers.
Yeah? We'll get to it as soon as I'm done with this one. Have we ever talked about my dad's fingers before? I
don't know.
I don't think we have.
I can't remember.
He's only got like 6.5 or 7. He's missing a couple of them. Like his middle finger, half of it's gone. It was in a tragic table saw incident. But anyways, he puts his hands on the table and he's like, yeah, I've only got a couple fingers. And the guy,
he has more than a couple.
Yeah, he's missing like 1.5, 2 fingers. Well, the guy goes, well, what happened to him? And without missing a beat, my dad goes, well, I have a really bad issue chewing on my fingernails. And this guy's face, like,
oh my gosh,
it froze up because he didn't know what to think. Cause you know how my dad is. You know how I am. And like, it just, neither one of us laughed, you know? We just played it off. So that kid thought for a couple minutes that like, my dad ate his fingers. And I think he probably wanted to leave.
He's probably trying to come up with a plan of how he could, you know, back away slowly.
So what story is it that you have about my dad's fingers?
It was just a couple weeks ago. I had taken some family photos. Your family, your grandma was down visiting, your aunt, your uncle. Anyway, most of the family was there and we took some photos. Well, Mother's Day was coming up and your dad wanted to order one of the photos on a big canvas for your grandma for her Mother's Day present. And so I was helping him order it. And
that's the 3D canvas that like wraps or whatever, right? That's what you're talking about?
It's a canvas, yeah. So I go online and I'm doing like the preview and I'm showing him what it's going to look like because when you order a canvas, some of it wraps around the frame and you can get them at different thicknesses. I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, part of it wraps around the frame. So the edge of your photo, you lose that around the edge. And the way the photo was taken, it was going to chop off like part of his arm and then part of your uncle's arm. They were on the ends. But I was showing him, oh God. I said, you know, it's going to chop off a little bit of both of your arms. I said, but in my professional opinion, it looks fine. I said, you don't look like an amputee or anything. And then I got home that night and I was telling you about it. I said, yeah, I'm going to order this canvas for your dad for, you know, your grandma's Mother's Day present. And then like it dawned on me that I told your dad, I was like, yeah, it doesn't make you look like an amputee. Yeah. Of all the people I could say this to.
You said it to the man with
I said it to the man who was missing fingers. And I was like, oh my God, Katie, you're such a stupid head.
Don't worry, buddy. It's not the picture that's going to make you look an amputee. It's the missing fingers. That's what's going to do it. Like, don't worry about your arm wrapping around.
I like straight face said that to your dad. Like, don't worry. You don't look like an amputee or anything.
He kind of does though. Just
and like, I'm like, thank goodness he's my father-in-law and I'm pretty sure he loves me because I'm like, totally stuck my foot in my mouth. Like, I can't believe I said that to a person who is missing limbs.
Well, his left hand, he's missing half of his middle finger. So like
I'm such an idiot.
He'll get upset in traffic, and he tries to flip somebody off, and it's on like one little nub, like wrapping around. And you ask him about it, and he's like, "Well, they don't deserve the whole thing." Like that's been his like favorite joke for the past.
Oh my goodness!
10 years. I think he's had that tragic finger losing accident. The only other thing really worth mentioning was you were saying how you liked seeing the cosplay or the people dressed up, right? Well, it wasn't that great this year. But the only thing that really stood out was there was a Spider-Man. And this guy was probably 6'3". He was tall. Mm-hmm. And he might have weighed 105 pounds.
Oh, wow.
He was a stick figure. Now, that's what caught our attention, was just how tall and like lanky he was. Well, he started walking towards our table. And his costume was very tight. And then we saw it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And you can't, and the thing about that is you can't unsee it, you know?
Nope.
So Spider-Man comes strutting up, and his little spider winky is you could see it. So I turned and looked at this Evan guy, and he turned and looked at me, and we both knew. We didn't have to say anything. I said I really don't want that guy to come over here and talk to us because I just can't. I can't. And my dad's over there just staring at the sky. He has no idea what's going on. So then we talk about it. And I think it was like 10 minutes later, Spider-Man comes doing his round again. And my dad smacks me on the arm. He's like, I saw it.
Oh, gosh.
So that was our experience was, spider penis. That's basically what happened at Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, that's a first.
That's it. I got a lot of notes here, but as I'm looking at it, it was stuff that was like okay at the time, but not worth talking about it. 14 minutes.
So I want to ask you about something. Yesterday was Mother's Day. It was my second ever official Mother's Day as a mother myself. And it's still kind of weird to me, you know, went a lot of years without being a mom. So it's like Mother's Day rolled around and it's like, oh, you know, think about my mom, my grandma, you know, your mom. But it's kind of weird as a mom now because Mother's Day, I feel like I want to be selfish that day. I'm like, I want to sleep in. I want breakfast in bed.
Sure.
Bring me gifts. You know, I don't want to chase after the kids. I want to be lazy. You know, I'm like, I am mother.
Well, breakfast in bed doesn't really work for you. I've tried it a few times. You're not a morning person.
No, I'm not.
So like you
made me breakfast in bed last year.
I did.
Really sweet.
Oh, this is what always happens. I bring you the breakfast and you go, oh, this looks really good. Well, you go, what? And I'm like, hey, I got you breakfast. And you
No, you mentioned breakfast and I wake up. I wake up for food.
Well, you always take a deep breath. And you look at it and you go, I gotta pee. So like I just sit there and I wait. And then you come back and I try to have coffee for you because you don't really function without it.
No, not at all.
I'm sorry, where were we going with that?
Anyway, I struggle with Mother's Day now that I'm a mom myself because I want to be selfish that day, but I still have my mom to think about and, you know, the other moms in our lives. And so I'm like, is it like that for Father's Day? Do you feel like that on Father's Day? Do you feel like you have this struggle, like you want to be selfish and think about yourself because you are a father's now? I guess you can be a father's. We have more than one.
Fathers, I'm a father's now. Yeah.
So, I don't know, and we're like, surely I'm not the only one, right? Like, I have this internal struggle of, do I, like, be selfish and just make it all about me, or do I do the unselfish thing and, you know, we think about all the other mothers in our lives?
I don't think I'm the person to ask.
I'm like, I'm not used to this whole Mother's Day thing. This is new to me. It really is. And, like, last year, my first Mother's Day, we had no choice but to stay home because I think we had, like, a tropical storm that day.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, I think we had plans and we canceled them because, I mean, our babies were little and it, like, torrential downpour all day long.
That was back when we were driving the truck that it rains on the inside.
Yeah, you couldn't drive when it rains anyway, and not taking 2 babies out in the rain.
Sure.
Yeah. So we had no choice but to stay home, and it was just us, and it was really nice. It was a really lovely day. And then this year, we kind of did the opposite. We went, we had dinner with my grandma and my mom, then we went and saw your mom. So, and I mean, both years I've had wonderful Mother's Days. I don't know, like, I have like this struggle with Mother's Day. It's weird.
Well, like I said, I'm not really the person to ask. I love being a father, but as far as like Father's Day,
And Father's Day it's different. It's different.
Why'd you make that
Mother's Day.
face? Like,
Oh, it's different. I don't know.
For me, it's kind of like an excuse. Like, I get to use that day to like try to do something that I want to do.
So you want to do the selfish route, like,
I think so,
I'm a
yeah.
father, I want to do what I want to do.
Well, I do that for my birthday too. Like, I don't care about celebrating my birthday, but if it gives me some leverage to do something I want to do, then I'll take it.
That's what birthdays are for.
So, but I mean, like, I don't
That's
really.
all about.
But if we didn't celebrate my birthday, wouldn't bother me one bit. It just wouldn't.
Well, that is sad.
And same thing with Father's Day. I'd like to have the day off and just hang out with the family. But like, other than that, nothing to it.
All right then.
Speaking of Father's Day and Mother's Day, there's going to be another one coming around. And there's this website you can go to.
OneSavvySis.com.
And order some cool stuff for that mommy in your life. Maybe you forgot. Did you not get your mother a Mother's Day gift this year?
I did get my mom a present.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
We're doing a commercial.
I thought you were talking to me.
No. I'm talking to people out there in Radio Land. Or it's not Radio Land. It's weird, right?
Podcast land.
Podcast land.
Interweb land.
Interweb land. But you can go to OneSavvySis.com. They got really cool stuff. The socks were a big hit for you.
The Happy Cat? Happy Cat socks. And for anybody who didn't hear our other ads for the Happy Cat socks, let me tell you, imagine a pair of socks has a picture of a cat. Half the picture on one sock, half the picture on the other.
Your cat.
And you can get a picture of your own cat. They can take a picture of your cat and make it into a cartoon cat and put it on a pair of socks. If that is not the greatest idea for the cat lover in your life, I don't know what is. And they can do other stuff too, because I know it said something about like you could do like sports, mascots and stuff. So like so like your softball team, you can have like your matching socks have like your mascot on them. And
that's pretty rad.
And they have like
things
the cool like laser engraved, like the handwriting. Like you can like get somebody's handwriting engraved on like a bracelet. Like I love you, Mom. And you can put it on a bracelet in your own handwriting. It's really, so they have some really cool stuff. Do
yourself a favor and just go look. Just go look.
Yeah, they have lots of stuff. I know those were some of my personal favorites.
OneSavvySis.com. So, on with the show. Today, I went and did something that I haven't done in a really long time. I got cast to be in a TV show, and it's, honestly, it's one of the biggest roles that I've gotten so far. So I was pretty excited about it. I can't really talk about what I did for the show because they put blockers on us for stuff like that.
Did you have to sign like a non-disclosure agreement?
No, not really. It wasn't like that crazy. They just kind of go easy. Don't give
spoil
away.
it.
Yeah, don't spoil things. Because, who wants that? But I did want to talk to you about my experience for the day. Because it wasn't what you would call smooth. First of all, I was almost late because I woke up and I came in the living room and I was drinking some juice and I fell asleep. I have never gotten to Wilmington that fast in my life. But, I got there 1 minute before I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there at 6:30 a.m. I got there at 6:29. For anybody that's never been part of a TV show or a movie or anything, when you're not like the main actors or the supporting actors, when you're in a union, you have to fill out tax forms. So that's the first thing I have to do, is fill out a tax form. So I'm going to town, just filling them out. And there's like 5 packets of paperwork you have to fill out. And I'm in that section, where it says, print your last name, print your middle initial, print your first name, print your street address, blah, blah, blah.
Pretty basic stuff.
Yeah. You would think it's pretty basic, but at 6:30 in the morning, maybe it's not so basic.
Oh, what did you do?
Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. I got about halfway through and realized I was filling out the line for the words in the wrong spots. It's kind of like there were words up top, but I was reading the words on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So I fill out my address.
So instead of putting it like in the box where it says name, you were putting what it said under the box, which was actually the next box down.
Yes.
I getcha.
So I fill out the address, and then I go down a line, and I'm like, oh, wait.
Did you run out of boxes?
It wants my address again. So I look back to the top, and I was like, man, I was supposed to put my name there, and it's in pen. So I'm like, what do I do? I started to panic. I was going to have...
Did you ask him for another form?
No.
Why?
I spit on it and started rubbing the ink.
Oh my.
No, I'm joking. I didn't do that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, you are.
You should have saw your face just
I was like, no, you did. I can only imagine like this paper that you turned in that's got nastiness all over it.
Well, I just wrote a line through it. And I was like, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to push forward. Cause I was like halfway through. Like that was the heartbreaking part, was like, I'd already filled out like 2 forms out of 5. And like the third one I messed up. So I just put a line through it, wrote through it, and kept on going. I was like, all right. So then I have to take it up there and I'm embarrassed, you know, but I'm not going to look embarrassed because that's not me. That's not who I am.
It's not you at all.
I'm going to get loud and I'm going to take everybody down with me. But no, I took it to the 3rd page and I handed it to her. Kimmy, she was like the casting director. So I had to go straight to her and go, hey, thanks for casting me. I'm screwing things up already. Here you go. So no, I handed it to her and I was like, look, I screwed it up. I'm sorry. She immediately goes, this is nothing new. People do it all day long.
Maybe they need to change their forms.
I mean, it's not their forms. It's the forms that you get for any other job. It's just that there's a lot of us dumb people out there, I guess. You shouldn't be filling out tax forms at 6:30 in the morning.
No,
I think that's the problem.
No.
They should have been like, hey, we're going to wait till lunchtime and then we're going to fill out some paperwork. That's what should have happened.
Have a cup of coffee first. Make sure you have your wits about you before you go filling out tax documents.
And then I got to give her my license.
Pen. Maybe they should get you to fill it out in pencil.
That's probably not safe.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, what about the erasable ink? No, I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. But my license is broken. It's got like
You haven't ever gotten another license?
No, I never did it. And it's like a little flappy that hangs off. So I got to hand them that and I'm just like, Jesus.
Oh my gosh. What have we gotten ourselves into?
And then what else happened? Oh, we went for the fitting the other day, you know, and I went up there with so much clothes. Like, I took pretty much all the clothes out of my closet except for the black shirts, which is a huge chunk of my wardrobe.
That's pretty much most of your closet.
And the guy never got back to me. He was like, hey, we'll get back to you and tell you what clothes to bring, and they never did. So I just took everything again, and I get there, and I'm talking about, like, you have to walk around with a book bag and a foot thick of clothing I'm walking around with. And they go, oh, we're going to let you wear some of our shirts. So I'm like, oh, okay, sounds good. And this is where the day continues to take left turns, when it should have just been a straight and narrow situation. This guy grabs me. I don't really know what his position is, but at this point, he's my personal clothes shopper guy, I guess. And we go to
your personal stylist.
Yeah, we go to this big trailer and I have to give them the tax form. So now I'm giving these tax forms to somebody else and they take it and give me some clothes. I guess it's kind of like, we're not going to give this back to you until you give us our clothes back type of situation. So they give me the clothes and the guy's like, hey, we're going to go over here and there's like a trailer with some bathrooms. He's like, go in there and change. Well, I walk up the stairs and I open the door and I hear, hey, and I turn around and there's this guy. He goes, you don't go in there. I said, whoa, he told me to go in there. And he turned to that guy and he said, he don't go in there. Like, this guy was upset.
Oh my gosh.
So I start coming down and, he didn't say this in so many words, but he basically said, people that are nobody use the ones up there. So I apparently,
oh my gosh.
I apparently was getting ready to use like some stars bathrooms.
The special potties.
Well, you know.
No special potty for you.
No special potties for me. So we start walking up towards where the, you know, not so highly actors use the bathroom. And I made a joke about it. And then I went inside and I was like, oh, well, I get it. Oh, it stunk. It was.
Oh gosh.
It stunk. It was bad. It wasn't unclean. It was just, there was a lot of background actors and stuff. So like the actors bathroom, there's only like 7 of them. Mm-hmm. 7 people. But the bathroom I had to use, there's like 50 people that are rotating in and out of the thing, plus the crew members and stuff. There's a lot of bathroom activities going on. So I go to change. The first thing that happens is I take my shoes off because I got to change my pants and my socks immediately become damp.
Ew, in a public restroom?
Well, I'm not going to say public, but yeah.
A lot of people used it. That's the same thing. Ew. Oh, that's disgusting.
Those socks are laying in your hamper right now, actually.
Oh my gosh, you're getting your strange potty germs on all my clothes.
So I'm like, oh, whatever, we're pushing forward. I didn't bring extra socks. I brought almost my whole wardrobe, but I've only got the one pair of socks. And I change. Well, I laid the clothes up on, like, the counter. There's like a sink, and a counter and whatnot. Every piece of clothing that I laid up there, wet. There's just, I guess.
If the floor was wet, what did you expect?
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. And we're going to go with water. We're going to say it was water because anything else makes me feel sad. So I had like big wet spots all over me. It was a gray shirt, you know what I mean? So like you could tell.
Oh my god.
And then like my jeans had a big gray spot over to the side. It wasn't my crotch, thank God. I didn't walk out of people thinking, I peed on myself. And, so that was the way.
They just thought you peed everywhere else.
Yeah, everywhere. This guy, what in the world was going on in there? So that's how it started out. Now there was something else kind of weird about it that I haven't experienced before because I've done this a bunch before in the past. This was my first quote unquote feature role. And there's a difference. Before I've done the background acting, which is basically you just walk around, pretend like you're talking, that sort of stuff. And a feature role, you're on camera. People knew me that I didn't know. I guess because my picture's getting passed around in this group because people have to know who I am. They didn't know my name. They called me Chicken Man.
Chicken Man.
Yeah, so like people go up like, hey, you're the Chicken Man.
It's not appropriate.
Right. Well, this is all that I can give away is that in my scene I ate chicken. And that's why people were calling me Chicken Man. Well, there were 3 of us there that day that were feature actors, and we all had those names. I was Chicken Man. And we had Fart Man.
At least you weren't Fart Man.
Yeah. And, Leggings Lady. But it was weird because when you're a background actor, like nobody really, there's just so many of them, So it was kind of cool. It was like people were going, hey, it's Chicken Man. I'll take it. I'll take it all day long. The funny thing is when you look at prices of, movie tickets, you kind of see why it's so high. I ate a piece of chicken and 3 other people were involved in that process. I had a person that, she was like a costume makeup person. Mm-hmm. And she would come up and go, hey, is everything okay? I want to make sure you're wearing the right stuff? That sort of thing. Then I had another lady come by who had wet naps. She was like, you need a wet nap? You just let me know. Because I'm eating chicken wings. I was like, okay. And then I had a guy, I don't know what his job was, but the only thing that I saw him doing was bringing me chicken wings. I don't know what his deal was. But he was like, hey, you're doing a good job. Here's a chicken wing. Like it was a treat or something. Like every time we do a cut, he was like, hey, here's another chicken wing. And I'm just like, oh, the chicken wings just kept coming. There were so many chicken wings. There were chicken wings all over the place. And here's the best part. They were cold. I'd eat cold chicken wings. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Pretend like you love it.
Oh, I know. I'm a professional now.
No, you're probably good for that because you will eat anything cold. Like leftovers straight out the fridge. What did you eat the other day? I was like, you're not going to heat that up?
Pizza, maybe?
No, it wasn't pizza. It was like pasta or something. I'm like, really?
I don't got time for that mess. Microwaves.
Eat that cold?
And isn't that like sad how far we've come along that I'm like, I don't have time for a microwave. I can't spend 30 seconds heating my food up. Just give it to me. I gotta go. But no, it was pretty fun. One other thing that happened that was kind of funny. We have what's called a PA, which her job is to herd people. There's 50, there were 50 or so extras, and it was her job to kind of like keep them together.
So she babysat you guys.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I don't know what PA stands for, but it means babysitter. Well, she had to come to me and talk to me about what I was going to be doing because it's not, it wasn't the normal background stuff. And it was very simple. I can't tell you what I was doing or what it was about, but we'll just say I was going for a walk. Well, in the script, it goes, the Tubby man goes for a walk because I was cast as a fat person. Let's just be honest. That's what happened. Well, she's reading it and she's like showing it to me and she's moving her fingers across the words like you would a child. She wasn't doing that because I'm a child or anything, but just what she was doing.
Pointing it out, yeah.
Well, she reaches the Tubby word and she like pauses.
Oh.
And then skips it. She just says man. She goes, and the man walks. And I jumped all over it. I was like, come on, you can't say Tubby. Look at me. I said, it's okay. I said, you can say fat if you want to. I'm good with it. Well, this is the thing that bothered me. She went and talked to one of the other featured people, and in that script, it referred to her as the camel toe lady.
Oh my.
And she didn't skip that word.
What?
She said it just as clear as camel toe lady. And I'm like, but you can't say tubby to me?
Like fat is worse than camel toe lady? Really?
I think I got us all in trouble too. I picked up a prop, and that's a no-no. I was just looking at it, and then I put it back down. It was like 30 seconds later, some woman came in that I don't know who she was, but she started talking to us about how props were important, and we couldn't be touching the props. And I just tucked my tail between my legs and wandered over to the corner.
Why would you pick up a prop? Have you never been watching a movie or TV and go, oh, look at that. Look at that. That wasn't there a minute ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I put it back where I got it from. I was just being nosy. We weren't even filming. So I got us in trouble. What are you going to do? Did
your mama tell you ain't supposed to touch things that don't belong to you?
Yeah. You know I'll be listening. What you talking about? But that was my experience for the day. And
I stayed home and dealt with poop.
Yep, poop. On your child's finger. We have a question on Facebook.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, from Stacy. She wants to know if we have a word that we can't say without it making us laugh. Like, do you have a word that when you say it, it just automatically makes you giggle?
I don't think so.
Really? Nothing?
Nothing. I mean, maybe. Nothing I can think of, though. I don't know. I'm like, things don't bother me to talk about. Like, we'll talk about poop, farts. You talk about periods, having babies, boobs. What? I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I'm not embarrassed to talk about those things, and I don't know. So nothing I can think of. Do you? Do you have a word you can't think about?
I have one. I have one right now.
What's your word?
Like, I try not to laugh even just thinking about it.
What's your word? What's your word?
It's it's weird. Toenails. I'm having a hard time right now in my life saying the word toenails. Yeah.
Toenails. Toenails.
Stop it. Well, I was thinking about, do you remember, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I sent you a message. And I said, Katie, I had a real, I said I got a bad headache and 3 of my toenails fell off. And you immediately responded through text message and you said, what? Exclamation point and question mark.
I was driving. I remember that. I was driving and you were texting me. And I'm trying to I don't like texting and driving and stuff, but I was trying to I knew you were at work. So I was like, let me try to at least read it. And you said your toenails fell off. And so I'm freaking out. I don't know if you have an accident at work. I'm like, do I need to go to do I need to turn around? And are you at the doctor? What is going on? And then you text me again and you said something, I don't know, completely off subject about
No, I told you. No, I said, don't worry. I'm just going to drink some water. It'll be fine.
That's what it was. You're like, I'm just going to drink some water. And at that point, I just got mad. I was like, and I think I said, stop it. I am driving.
You know me too well. This is what spawned it. I
didn't know if your toenails fell off or not, but I was like, I can't deal with this right now.
Somebody I know had went to the doctor and I'd messaged this person and they told me that they had been at the doctor for an hour and the doctor hadn't seen them yet. They were doing a checkup, for some surgery they had. And I don't know why I thought about it, but I said, hey, whenever the doctor comes in, and he asks you, how's everything going? Just say, I've had a really burning sensation in my funny bone and 3 of my toenails fell off.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know why it tickles me so bad.
What in the world kind of surgery was it?
I don't know. I have no idea. It was nothing related to toenails. But my only thought was, could you imagine the fear in the doctor when they heard that?
Depending on what the surgery was, he might have just thought you were an idiot.
Maybe. But that's my word, toenails. I'm having a hard time saying it without laughing hard. We got a message from one of our listeners.
Okay.
And I thought it was good enough to read. I want to read it to you.
Okay.
So this is from Andrew in England.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew. And he sends me a message.
So is this, like, he messaged, like, you personally?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I didn't see a message.
Sorry. He says, drying my tears after your latest podcast, thought you'd like a couple of similar tales. So the episode he's talking about was 44, about the family that I passed gas in front of, I think is what spawned.
Were these, like, tears of laughter, or, like, tears like this happened to him too? Or
It's like maybe, sad tears. He's
maybe him and his family know what it's like to be farted on by a strange man.
It's trudging up bad
bringing
memories.
back bad memories. Yeah.
Oh, when I was young, I got farted on by a stranger in a parking lot. But, no, let me read it to you. It's pretty good. Sorry, drying my tears after your latest podcast, thought you'd like a couple of similar tales. Remember once being in a cinema and had an upset tummy. I guess like in a movie theater. Decided to let it out quietly, and a rich, pungent, how you say that word? Pungent? Pungent aroma. I'm not a reader, Andrew. I'm sorry. Seeped out and consumed the air. So he said about 2 minutes later, he heard somebody a couple rows back going, "Do you smell egg sandwiches?"
Oh my gosh.
So Andrew, what did you eat that you made the cinema smell like egg sandwiches? But I guess that happens. Okay, his other I really wish I could do like an accent. I try, but I'm I either hit it or I sound like Forrest Gump. It's one or the other. Like I can't keep it constant. But his other story goes, the other was an old business colleague of mine who used to drop trumps everywhere. I wasn't sure what that meant at first.
I don't know what that means.
Because when he says drop trumps, I automatically think of Donald Trump. Because
he's like walking around just dropping miniature Donald Trumps everywhere.
But then I thought about it. I think he means like a trumpet, like wah. Like I guess he means,
farts.
Farts, yeah. His favorite trick was doing so on a train home and then looking suspiciously around and saying, "Who did that?" So this guy would like fart and then like start blaming people. Who did that? Like his eyes get all squinty and he looks back and forth like, like a mad scientist or a spy or something. One late trip home, he let rip a snorter. Some of these words I don't understand. And put on a suspicious face. The man opposite shook his head and said, "There's only you and me on this train. It wasn't me." So he tried to do that again.
Like, that probably don't work when there's only two people.
Yeah, there's got to be at least three. And even when there's three, I think you find out real fast. Well, this is the main reason I wanted to share that with you. As our podcast grows in popularity, which it's doing, not in...
Like, are you sure Andrew wants you sharing his fart stories?
Oh, once you send it in, that's it.
It's fair game.
Yeah, it's fair game once you send it to me. But the point is, as we gain popularity, which we are, it's not at an immense rate or anything like that, people are going to start sending us stuff. Like, hey, you're not going to believe what happened to me. And this is a pretty light story. But do you think in the future we're going to get some stuff that we're just like, oh... Cause you hear things like that, like weird people that send things to like celebrities and stuff.
Yeah, some people are like oversharers.
Right.
Like they tell way too much about themselves to people that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like have you ever like, you've like just met somebody and then they go into like telling you this story where like, whoa, we don't know each other that well for you to be telling me this. And
I don't think that's what this was. This was a humorous story. It was good. Yeah. But like, what if we get that?
I'll trade fart stories with anybody.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what if we get that email one day and like I read it and I go,
it's a bit too much.
We got to give this to the police. Like, this is a confession. This is like a story. Like I farted on a small child and then smacked him and ran away. Like this is an assault charge. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen one day. We're going to get some weird story like that, and then we're going to be faced with the decision of, what do we do? And then if we turn it over, like, he's going to know it was us. You know what I mean? Like, And it'd be like, sorry, man, the FBI must have, intercepted that email. I never saw it.
They hacked our accounts.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No. In comparison, my past few days have been pretty calm.
Pretty calm and bland. Well, that's a good thing, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't say calm or bland, but not anything out of the ordinary.
I do have one more thing. The other night, you and I were in a vehicle with our niece Courtney, and you started...
Oh my gosh. I don't want to talk about this.
We gotta talk about it.
No.
Yeah, we do. There was a rapper.
I'm not doing it.
You can't do it. It's too, you can't, we're right outside the, yeah, you can't do it. There was a rapper by the name of Lil Jon, I think, and, he was famous for the words, what, and okay.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Well, Katie was screaming these things in the car trying to sound like him, and it was the most hilarious thing
I thought my impression was pretty spot on.
I have ever heard in my life. And I'm happy to report that I hit the record memo button on my phone just in time. I haven't got a chance to try to edit it yet because it's really crappy sounding, but I'm going to do my best. So, patrons, you are going to have access to that recording.
That is so embarrassing.
Whether I can get it to sound great or not, I'm going to throw it on the next bonus episode for you guys.
Why is it always make fun of Katie time?
You can make fun of me. What do you want to make fun of?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's why, right there. That's the reason. If you would like to have access, you can go to our Facebook page, click on the Patreon link, and become a supporter of the show for as little as $1 a month. Or $1 million, whatever you're into.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. $1 million a month, we'll come do the podcast to your house. Well, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of creepy people out there.
For $1 million, though?
$1 million might take a chance. I had to buy a gun on the way over. What are you going to do? I was like, I need to see this clear first. We need to see it clear the bank before we come over. But, all right.
We could, $1 million, we could hire a couple bodyguards or something.
Yeah. We're already
we could take our brothers. They have guns.
They do. And knives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brother has a lot of knives.
He does.
Like a lot.
He wears them like medallions. It's crazy. Like if he shimmies real fast, you can hear them clank together.
Like I can only imagine Rusty going in like the courthouse or something where they have the metal detection. You have to, or the airport. And you have to empty all your pockets and.
Your eyes got so big when you said airport. Like your facial
I'm trying to think of places where you have. Why you guys spit on me? Come on. I can only imagine Rusty going to one of those places. You have the plastic tub where you gotta put your keys and your wallet and everything, and he's gonna be I think one time he was carrying 20 knives.
You're not exaggerating.
I'm not. I'm not even kidding.
Well, he was in the car with me and a couple guys one day, and it looked like we were getting ready to be in a bad situation. And he starts pulling knives out and passing them around. Here we go. It's fixing to go down.
One for you.
I want everybody to be prepared. He had one in each shoe. He had them in his pockets. He had one that hung on a keychain around his neck. It was like a tiny little knife.
A necklace.
It was like the version of that little gun you would see on.
But he's prepared, man. He is prepared.
He was about to stab the crap out of somebody.
I feel safe hanging out with Rusty.
Rusty crazy. But I think that really runs in our blood. There's a lot of crazy in our family.
I don't have any room to talk because I think my family tree is full of the crazies.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. What are you going to do? Is that it? You looking at the ceiling? You think maybe something up there we need to talk about?
I'm trying to think. I'm good. Good.
Awesome. And a late happy Mother's Day to everyone out there that is a mother. Bye.
Bye.